smoke and sit your butt back down. Stay right here. Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning for a beautiful sparkling shine that's crystal clear. Call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Now here's John.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, in this final segment of the first hour. Thank you for spending the time with me. A few more little tidbits before we head on out of here for the first hour, and we'll do some different stuff in the second hour. But to dovetail on what we were talking about just before the break, looks like retailers, Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart, are going to take a harder line on guns, and they're going to make it where you got to be 21 years old to buy a weapon out of their retailer. And there's an 18-year-old who is suing Dick's Sporting Goods in particular. And to be very consistent here, I have to say that Dick's Sporting Goods can decide who and what they want to sell to. And if they want to decide to sell only to people who are 21 and older, that's fine with me, because it's their business and they can do business with whoever they choose to do business with. We hear a lot of the gun people out there complaining about this, but weren't they the ones that were saying, hey, if a cake shop doesn't want to make a cake for a gay couple, they shouldn't be forced into doing it? Well, you got to stay. And if you're going to be consistent, ladies and gentlemen, then you have to stand by Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart in this action. It's their business. And if they don't want to sell to somebody for whatever reason, that's on their business. If there's repercussions from that, fine. But when you get these, it's the same group of people who say, well, you can't force a Christian person to make a cake for a gay wedding. Well, you can't force Dick's Sporting Goods or Walmart to sell guns to people they feel are too young to sell guns to. This person who's suing Dick's Sporting Goods, you can go to any other gun shop and get your gun, but he's trying to make an example of Dick's Sporting Goods here. And so's the lawyer involved. It's all a plan. If we look deep into this, this is probably concocted in some back room. Hey, let's send a young kid out there to challenge us right off the bat, because the NRA already had a lawsuit in place against Florida for their new law that they put in place for the same reason, 21 years or older. Now, I'm not for the law to be changed on age for getting a gun. I think these people should be able to get guns. They just need some kind of sponsor to make sure that they're not a mental case. I don't have a problem with 18-year-olds owning a gun, because if they can go to war, they sure as heck should be able to buy a gun on their own. If the U.S. military is going to entrust them with some sort of weaponry, then they should be, on their own terms, outside of a military situation, be able to purchase an item that they would be trained for at the same age in the military. But we're also dealing with private companies in Dick's Sporting Goods and Walmart when you're talking about them imposing the 21-year-old and up situation. They're within their rights, as far as I'm concerned, to do such a thing. And people are well within their rights to take their business somewhere else. Instead of trying to force Dick's Sporting Goods into doing something they don't want to do, take your business somewhere else. It's that simple. But people want to make an example of Dick's Sporting Goods. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Of course, we had the awesome month of February as far as the jobs report is concerned. 300 plus thousand jobs created, blah, 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 unemployment at an all-time low or whatever, In just a year and some months, we went from Obama totally lying about the the economy and the jobs reports and all that. That's all you heard on the right. Oh, we had this many people, record number of people out of work. We still have that record amount. There's still a lot of people deciding they're not going back to work. And these jobs that were created, some of them are good, some of them are not so good. We're also in that time of year, which people every year seem to forget. We're in that time of year that spring is slowly creeping in, which means construction jobs are going to be increasing, which is going to add jobs to the workforce, add people to the workforce, which is going to help numbers. And am I poo-pooing the whole jobs number report? Well, yes, because we didn't believe it during Obama. Things haven't changed all that much since Trump has taken office, as far as they're saying, oh, this many jobs are created. What jobs? I'm talking to my friends who are looking for jobs, and nobody seems to be able to find a job worth anything. Sure, the low pay, there's a whole bunch of low paying jobs out there. And that they're counting all these in the numbers. But we still have a great deal amount of people sitting at home, either collecting some kind of check or just gave up on the whole work thing. And they're touting this. That's another thing. You never see the conservative media talking about how many people are not in the workforce right now. They did that all during Obama. I did it myself. Well, I'm going to talk about it now. There's still just about the same amount of people not in the workforce. It is amazing how the reporting of facts have flip-flopped since the presidency has flip-flopped. Just incredible. Tally on to that, obviously, we're not done with tax plans anymore. We thought we were done with the tax plan. We thought, 14% reduction for corporations and hardly anything for the individual. You can give families a little tax credit back. But the Democrats aren't happy, so they're introducing a tax plan to cause a tax hike. They're looking to raise taxes after we just did a major tax plan. You see, this stuff never goes away, ladies and gentlemen. The immigration issue never goes away. It keeps getting bigger. We were told the whole tax thing was historic and it was over. Well, now they're talking about more tax bills in the future. Can we get this right? Or is it a fact that we keep drudging up these same old tired issues because that's the only thing to keep the American people busy? Well, we're sick of the immigration issue. Whether you're on the right, left, or wherever I'm considered to be at. Tired of the immigration issue. This should have been solved one way or another, and we shouldn't be talking about it in 2018. It's a sad state that we're in. Taxes are being brought up again. I thought that was over with. Immigration's never over with. Now we're going to have a constant talk about Obamacare because we can't get rid of that. It's still there. So what if the mandate's not there for this year or next year? As soon as the Democrats get back in power, mark my words, they will put that sucker back in there if Obamacare is still around. Because the Democrats want the mandate in there. They like forcing people to pay into a system. So we have a tax hike coming, or an attempted tax hike coming. Some days it gets really hard to continue to talk about this stuff because it's so ridiculous that it's a repeat issue. And that's all that talk radio seems to talk about. I mean, the mainstream guys, that's all they go over. The same thing, right, left, right, left, right, left. Occasionally you get somebody who talks about something different, but it's the topic of the day and everybody argues over it. And it never goes away, because if it went away, we would find out that these politicians aren't worth a diddly squat. And in my last subject for the evening, scientists have found trapped in a diamond a type of ice not known to Earth before. Trapped in a rigid structure of diamonds formed deep in the Earth's crust, scientists have discovered a form of water ice that was not previously known to occur naturally on our planet. The findings, published Thursday in Science, represents the first detection of natural occurring ice, they're calling it Ice 7, ever found on Earth. As it sometimes happens in the scientific process, it was discovered entirely by accident. Ice 7 is about 1.5 times as dense as the regular ice we put in our drinks and skate on in the wintertime. And the crystalline structures of its atoms are different as well. So we have a new form of ice that scientists have discovered. And the reason I bring this up is very simple. There are so many things that we do not know about, yet science, quote unquote science, declares things to be, and then later down the road we find out that it's not as they had told us, or it's a variation or a slight move off of that, because we find out more and more and more stuff as we do our scientific research. Unlike some of the engineering research they like to call science, but isn't science, even though they may use science as more engineering. Here we find out that there's a new form of ice that they found inside little diamonds. Diamonds. Interesting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for joining me this hour. We've run against the clock here, as always, and we still didn't get to everything I wanted to get to. We're going to talk more in the second hour. Check your local listings for your favorite station to find out when that second hour is. Sometimes it's right after this first hour, and on other stations it's on another time or day. Don't forget to go to my website. That's www.jlebang.com. We've got archives of the show. Lots of cool things are going to be happening on the website. We're going to be going through a little bit of a transition coming up here in the next few months, and you're going to find out all that information right there on the website. So tune into that place, www.jlebang.com, to find out all the stuff that's coming down the pike. I'd like to thank all my affiliate stations for supporting the John Lebang Show, and of course you, the listener, which I couldn't do this show without you giving me your ear and time. And until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears again, this is John Lebang signing off for the first hour.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space, same station.